Hello, everyone. Let's take at the March night sky. What I'm going to show you, just like last month, I'm going to show you what you can visibly observe in the sky. And the funny part is that it's not very spectacular, besides being not very interesting, because Venus is no longer so bright and beautiful. I mean, at the very early month, it is still quite bright, but sooner or later it will go retrograde and then meet the sun and disappear from the night sky. So does Mercury. So both are going to turn retrograde. And besides that, there are some fixed star placements which might be interesting for you, but it's not a very spectacular month visibly. Whereas, astrologically speaking, it's a brilliant month because we are going to have the vernal equinox, the new year, the true new year. And Neptune is changing signs, and so does Saturn later on. So it's going to be packed with action, but at the same time, not too much is actually visibly observable in the sky. So let's take a look at the placements. And okay, this is it. Hold on a second. Let me put this into. I always have a problem how I can actually. Sorry for fumbling with this. I just need to find the button for the slideshow. Okay, so here's the night sky sometime in the middle of March. And we are starting on the 1st, so just a day after the new moon in Pisces, that if you look out to the western sky right after sunset, the sunset is at 1741, and wait half an hour, and you might be able, if you are at a flatland and you have very good visibility, you might glimpse Saturn going down on the western sky. And actually, there is this string of pearls, and also the fact that all the visible planets are up there. Of course, whenever they are up there, the sun won't be there because the sun needs to go down. So, and this is what some of the astrologers were harping at. This is something big, but it's actually it occurs sooner or later. It will occur. So it's not such a big deal. It is a beautiful sight. So if you can manage and can go out and take a look at the night sky right after sunset, you will be able to see Saturn, Mercury, the moon, and Venus on the western horizon. The Jupiter will be up at the midheaven, and Mars, which is still out of bounds, although it was the most out of bound when it was stationary, and now it is direct again, and it's slowly coming down from being out of bounds or very out of bounds. But we do have a Sun-Jupiter square, a Venus-Jupiter sextile, so that is making a mini engine. And there's also a Mars-Saturn applying trine, which at the moment Mars is very, very slow, actually slower than Jupiter. So it will take a while before they become actually making the true trine. And Venus is stationary on the 1st and 2nd of March. Venus is stationary, and it will be turning retrograde the next day. So that is on the 1st. Okay. And here you can see this is the night sky with the crescent moon after sunset. Venus is still bright, so you can still be happy and see it. Here is Jupiter above the stars of the bull, the celestial bull, Taurus. Here the Pleiades, the home of the creator goddess, and here's Mars out of bounds. On March 2nd or March 6th, there is going to be a Moon-Jupiter conjunction. After sunset, the moon will be, of course, already separating from Jupiter, but still a beautiful sight. Every time the moon is close to either a bright star or a planet, a bright planet, it's really spectacular. And at that moment, the sun is on Achernar, which is Alpha Eridanus, which we are going to look at in a minute. Both Mars and the moon are out of bounds. Venus is already retrograde, and there's another mini engine. This time it's a square, a trine, and a semi-sextile with the moon, Mars, and Saturn. Here's the night sky. On that day, the moon is first quarter, not yet first quarter, but you will have this D-size moon. And as you can see, Mars is around 25 degrees to the north of the celestial equator. This yellow line is the celestial equator, and the moon is about 28 degrees. So when you have a conjunction, it's actually not really conjunction on looking at it from the declinations. It's going to be much above above Jupiter. And here's a Hernar. You have to understand that when we say something is conjunct a star, it is almost never really conjunct because very few stars are actually on the ecliptic compared to the about 2,000 named stars. Think about it. But it can be aligned, as Bernadette Brady so many times emphasized. And this is what you need to see, that this Ahernar is perpendicular to the ecliptic, to the ecliptical position of the sun. So that is why it is aligned. It's just on the same astrological degree as the sun at the moment. And what is Ahernar? So, by the way, you won't be able to see Ahernar unless you live in Australia or somewhere in the south, because it can never be seen on the north. Eridanus, the celestial river, is the largest of the constellations. It really occupies half the hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. It sets off at Rigel, which is the foot of Orion, and actually goes a little bit to the north, reaching almost the celestial equator and the bad stars, a little bit below that. And then it turns and curves all the way down, almost at the southern pole, South Pole. And I consider this star as the reward of the hero's journey. The whole river Eridanus suggests that you can leave your equilibrium because you are going on a quest and you want to learn and you want to experience. And after many trials and tribulations, you finally reach your final destination and you get your reward. And that is what Ahernar suggests. Bernard Brady says something else about this star. I really love Bernard Brady. I think BB is a wonderful astrologer, and I would not quarrel with her in any sense. But I think she wasn't 100% right when she was trying to assess Ahernar, because she says that Ahernar means short-lived opportunities. And to me, it's really something that you can reach after a lot of trials and tribulations. So that is what you can actually download this success on that day. On March, hold on. Why did I not change this? For some reason, I never changed the. Okay, I know what I did. Okay, here. I left as you know, I always do this in Hungarian, and then I do it in English. And I was very tired last night. This is it's very, very early. It's really still dark. On I I I just didn't have the time, and so I left a slide within the from the Hungarian version. Anyhow, so on March 9th at midnight, which is probably something that you won't actually see if you are an early riser like me. By midnight, I'm usually fast asleep. But if you happen to be out there and the skies are clear, then you will see an exact Mars moon conjunction, and it's going to be on Vasat. And both the moon and Mars are out of bounds. So there's this Mars, moon, Vasat triple alignment. Okay, hold on a second. Let me, again, here it is. And so here's the conjunction. Again, both are out of bounds. And here's Vasat, which is the elbow of the celestial twins. You can see it here. And when Vasat is prominent, you should realize that this is a world where when we learn to make decisions. Sometimes people are unable to make decisions. Sometimes they do make decisions which are very harsh and very rapid. This is where we learn how to decide the whole process of making decisions and making right and wise decisions. And Mars there, it will be interesting to see because Mars is there for a couple of days because Mars still is quite slowly moving, and you know that all fixed stars have a 1 degree of 1 degree applying, 1 degree separating. So Mars will be there quite a while, for a couple of days at least, and it will be interesting to see what the powers that be decide about Ukraine. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. If you listen to the warmongers of the Western, for instance, Western Europe, like Macron and Tusk and Starmer, your prime minister, they're idiots. I know why they want to do this. They want to continue the war because they don't know how to get out of it, and also because this gives them a point to fight the. They still think that they can conquer Russia and get their resources. The West badly needs those resources, and they are utilizing Ukraine, actually pushing Ukraine into the pit for it. It's disgusting. It's horrible. And when you listen to some of them who state that a bad peace is worse than war, really? Okay, then go and get yourself killed in a fight. It's ridiculous. So anyhow, it will be interesting to see what's happening with the war. I don't really have good feelings about this. I don't think that the idiots are going to get to their senses. But on that day, on the 9th, the moon will be crossing over them, and actually you can download the energy of Masat. If we take this 1 degree applying and 1 degree separating, it allows you a 4-hour window because the moon takes about it takes about half a degree per hour, so to speak. So it's about 4 hours. And again, here, this is a total lunar eclipse with the Virgo full moon, and it has a Sun Saturn conjunction on Markup, and there's also a stationary Mercury on Alganib. Venus is already retrograde for almost 2 weeks, and now Mercury will also join retrograde Venus, and these are two important stars in the constellation Pegasus. So that is going to happen. If you take a look at the chart, you will see that the Mars Saturn, actually it's the Mars Saturn trine, and Sun Mars is not trining, it's too wide. So it's still not exact. And what's interesting is that the moon is making two quindacile, which is a 165-degree obsession and ambition to Mercury, the stationary Mercury and Venus. And here's what you could see. So the Venus-Mercury conjunction is getting tighter, and actually both of them will be nearing the sun, and soon there will be a triple conjunction as well. And here's Alganib, which is Gamma Pegasus, and Markup, which is Alpha Pegasus. And Pegasus, according to Bernard Brady, represents the thought processes that are jumping out of the head of the celestial horse. Okay, and on the vernal equinox, which is a biggie, which is going to be at 9:02 a.m. in London on March the 20th. And in the London chart, you will have Jupiter rising, and you will also have the moon below the horizon. Otherwise, it is a morning chart, so it has this very heavy emphasis on in the London chart of the 11th house. And as you can see, Venus and Mercury are going up to the sun. Venus is almost at the midpoint of retrograde Mercury and the sun. We are going to look at this chart separately, of course, because it's a biggie. It is when the astrologers are celebrating. It's going to be a Moon-Mars sesquiquadrate. But again, you won't be able to see too much. You have to wait until sunset, and what you will actually see is really Mars, nothing too much. Okay, here's the vernal equinox moment. The sun is on the celestial equator, right at vernal at 0 degree Aries, and as you can see, Venus is almost there, and Mercury is coming up to another conjunction. And here's Sheat, because the sun has been aligned with Sheat for the last 50 years or so, and will be aligned with Sheat on the vernal equinox for the next 100 years. And Sheat, which is at the very end of Pisces, it's the beta star of Pegasus, and it represents it's one of the healing words of suicide victims. Actually, it is the first healing word, the very where fresh suicide victims are being taken. So this is Aries new moon at the very end of the month. This is our last slide, and again, in this case, the Sun Moon conjunction is on Alganiv, which Mercury was there a couple of days earlier. So the new moon, the Aries new moon will, and also this is another eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse. We won't be able to see anything from Europe. It's something on the other side of the world, and but it's still a partial eclipse. And we are going to look at the eclipses of this month, hopefully, if I have time. They are not very nice eclipses, to say the least. It's not a very nice series. It's the Saros cycle 9 north, both eclipses. And so actually after sunset, you will only be able to see Jupiter and Mars, nothing else. So that was it. That's what you can, those are the main events visibly, so by the naked eye. But a lot of things are going to happen. This is a very action-packed month with the vernal equinox and with Neptune changing signs. Thank you very much for listening, and happy March. Bye-bye.